Hey everyone, today we're going to walk through the attribution mapping methodology. Now, this can be found in when you're in your uh, My Account and settings. It's the very first thing you see here. So, if you are an admin in the tool, you will have the accessibility to modify and change these. Um, at the highest level, the reason why I'm covering this is as of late, a lot of people I've been talking to, or some people, I should say, um, have been questioning whether or not to use the account ID or to use, contact roles and so on. Now, this may be pretty straightforward, but I think it's worth the discussion. So, if you come in here, you can click on this, and that would enable you to change all of these here. And then once you've done that, leave that unlocked, and then you can press save. That would then give you the ability to adjust that as you see fit. I'll lock this because it defaults to using the account ID. I will put in the notes section below, or the description section, this link. This link covers it really in depth, which has been, I think, super helpful for most. But to cover this at the highest level from a consulting perspective, you have really three main ones. If you see here, even when I did this, it shows more. This is kind of the converted lead email is kind of just really not ever used. I don't know if it's legacy or not, but it's just not one that I'm going to discuss today. I'm going to focus on account ID, contact role, and primary for today's call. Um, I think these models are good as far as what it shows here, the data models. So you have an account at the highest level, right? And this contact has 4 touch points. This one has 3, 2, and 2, right? And so all of those touch points aggregate to the opportunity. And that's what the account ID does for you. It looks at the account as a whole and is able to aggregate all of that and chop that up and give distribution to all of those as far as a percentage or a weight based upon the whatever model you're using to those touch points. I think this is best for any client to really start out with. If you're new to Marketo Measure or you're trying to understand how the tool works, this is really the best way to start. Um, and I'll explain that in a little while, go a little bit further in depth in that. But what this really enables you to be able to do is understand what campaigns have the most impact on an opportunity, what channels are most effective in creating engagement for this opportunity. It just enables you to see the fullest picture, whether it's right or wrong, right? What I mean by right or wrong is with an event, right? 200 people from a company attended the event, and all this attributed revenue is going to that event, and that just doesn't settle right for you. That's fine. Like, that's okay. But at least you can see the entire journey when you look at all of the BAT touch points, right? The buyer attribution touch points. If you were to only look at full funnel of engagement at the account level. So that's why I really like this model. That's why I encourage most people to go this route. The next one is the opportunity. I'm sorry, not the opportunity. The next one is going to be your contact role, opportunity contact role mapping. So the contact role for those is only in Salesforce, but within the contact role, right, you can assign those contact roles to the op. So there could be 3 people, it could be 2 people, it could be 1 person, and those then get pushed, or those are on the op, and that's what Marketo Measure will push back to and say, okay, these are the touch points, right? This is the only touch points we're going to attribute revenue. So really what you end up with is, like in this model, you would have first touch lead creation, and then the additional touch points there, and then those would populate inside of on the within the attribution story. Um, and I think that's fine. I just don't care for that, partly because you may not see the entire journey. Again, if you're new to Measure, it's going to be hard to look at your efforts, your marketing efforts, and say, okay, here's the engagement. Most likely those efforts are going to be predominantly sales focused, because if you're pulling in sales touch points, because that's what's going to happen primarily on the opportunity, right? Is sales is engaged. They're the ones working it. And so it can cloudy, cause a little bit of cloudiness in that. And then this is the primary, which again, you would assign a primary, it would be one person, and you would see the entire journey. Um, and again, these aren't bad or incorrect to use. It's just more often than not, in my experience, companies are not utilizing contact roles and primary contact roles to their fullest, um, or they're being assigned just kind of willy nilly. And what I mean by that is, like, sales has to assign a contact role, and so they just put the CEO on there, and the CEO really has no engagement. It's not really the one; they're just the contract signer, right? It doesn't give you true understanding of where do you need to invest dollars, how do you measure success. And so I think at the end of the day, what does it all come back to for you? And what I often encourage those that I work with is, what are your KPIs? What are you trying to measure? And can you gather that from your reporting? And more often than not, you're going to be able to gather that from your reporting if you're using the account ID. Hope this is helpful and insightful for you. Please leave any comments down below, and I'll be happy to try to answer any questions you have. Thank you.